Saint Rose of Lima, Virgin, of the Third Order of St. Dominic. The first canonized saint of the American continent was the Holy Virgin Rose, so called from her beautiful complexion, who was born at Lima in Peru of Spanish parents towards the close of the 16th century. From her infancy, she showed extraordinary marks of sanctity, especially by her patience under suffering and her singular love for mortification and penance. While yet a child, she would never touch fruit and fasted 3 days of the week on bread and water. At other times, she merely added to her meal insipid herbs and pulse. Pride and sensuality were the objects of her extreme abhorrence, and whatever seemed to favor them was turned by her into an occasion for practicing humility and mortification. Hearing others speak highly of her beauty, she was accustomed, when obliged to go abroad, to rub her face and hands with the bark and powder of the Indian pepper, which served to cover them with unsightly blotches. It happened on one occasion that a young man expressed his admiration of the delicacy of her hands, whereupon she immediately plunged them into hot lime, saying, "Never let my hands be to anyone an occasion of temptation." The parents of Rose, having by some misfortune fallen from a state of opulence into great distress, were induced to accept the offer of a gentleman named Gonsalvo to take Rose into his household. In this new position, she had the satisfaction of being able, by her daily labor in the garden and by working late at night with her needle, to assist her parents in their necessities. These employments were agreeable to her penitential spirit and afforded her the opportunity, so dear to her, of conversing continually with God, to free herself from the importunity of her friends who pressed her to enter the married state, and to be better able to fulfill the vow of virginity which she had already made. The holy maiden, after the example of St. Catherine of Siena, whom she had chosen for her model, took the religious habit of the Third Order of St. Dominic. She continued, however, like her holy patroness, to live in the world, dwelling in a lonely cell in the midst of a garden, where she led the life of a hermit and practiced the most severe austerities. Not content with extraordinary fasts, hair shirts, and an iron chain encircling her waist, she wore upon her head, in imitation of our Saviour's thorny crown, a thin circle of silver, studded with sharp points, which penetrated her skin and caused her acute suffering. So ardent was her love of God that when she spoke of his infinite goodness, the tone of her voice and the fire which sparkled in her countenance revealed the inward flames that consumed her soul. This was especially the case after receiving Holy Communion, which was the object of her continual aspirations and most ardent desires. Our blessed Lord rewarded the fervent charity of his spouse with many extraordinary graces, visiting her at times in person and sweetly conversing with her. For her greater humiliation and merit, he permitted her for many years to be subjected to grievous persecutions and to violent assaults from Satan, who filled her pure mind with filthy imaginations. By her humility and constancy in prayer, she triumphed over all these temptations and was rewarded by her divine spouse with heavenly consolations. Her constant petition under her long and painful infirmities was, "Lord, increase my sufferings, and with them increase thy love within my heart." This faithful and favored spouse of Jesus passed to eternal bliss on August 24th, AD 1617. The whole city of Lima flocked to her funeral, for they already esteemed her as a saint, and numerous miracles were wrought at her tomb.